You're listening to the Claret and Big Blue podcast on the Pass the Gravy podcast network.
Damn, Daniel.
Over the middle, touchdown Giants.
Taken away by Wicks.
Oh, it's glorious. It's Pettis to Jones. Oh, what a catch by Dickie Jones.
Cleared as far as Saeed Ben Rama.
And we are live.
We'll do it live.
Welcome everyone to Claret and Big Blue, probably the only podcast on the internet dedicated to West Ham United and the New York Giants. That's right, football and football balls for everyone's taste. Now we're on episode 68. We are celebrating because, whoa, our Dex is on fire. West Ham are crowned Kings of Lyon this past week, and we've got to look forward to that. Now, I am Mike Fish, and I'm going to introduce you to my partner. It's Mr. Alex Middleton. Alex, how you doing, buddy?
What's going on, man? I liked the singing. I think you should do that more to enter the podcast. I was hoping you were going to go a little bit longer.
To be honest, I haven't listened to that song for years. I wouldn't even know what the next line is.
Well, I mean, you got to make up the words, so really, you just had to know the way it kind of sounded.
Just keep going with different West Ham players.
You could have done that. It would have been easy. I'm a little disappointed, I'm not going to lie.
And Noble won't be rehired.
There we go.
There you go.
See? The people are asking for it.
Got to give the people what they want. Alex, you've had an eventful couple of days. This man is the Stone Cold Steve Austin of the Claret and Big Blue podcast because he's got not only one but two beers named after him at the launch party of Darling Like a Marlin, Electric Boogaloo. How was that?
Darling Marlin too, yeah. It was tight. We had a pretty good turnout. It was on Easter weekend, so I know that there were people that couldn't make it, but it was cool. We had a fun broadcast. We had some awesome bands go on before and after us, and I thought it was a fun little evening. I had the best crawfish I've had in my streak. Number one on the rankings this weekend, so that was pretty awesome. 117 weeks in, and I finally got a new number one. But it was a solid Saturday up at Southern Star Brewing Company.
I was a little bit worried because I was listening to Pass the Gravy the week before, and when you introduced it, I think didn't the crawfish people that were bringing the crawfish, they were at the moment number 2 in your list, wasn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that.
So I mean, they were already like up there. And like it's hard to score 9s. Like I rank it on a scale of 10, and it's like there's like 4 or 5 places that have had a 9. It's very. I'm a tough grader, and they topped what they had already done by a lot. They threw pickles in it. I guess you've never had crawfish, have you?
No idea what it is.
They threw pickles in the boil, so it soaked up everything. It was a little crazy, but I liked it.
Nice. Yeah, I was a little bit worried for you because it could have gone one of two ways. When you shouted out that they were number 2, they could have been like, fuck this guy, and they could have like poisoned it or some shit just to try to get back at you. But luckily they took that as a motivation and they upped their game.
I guess so, but it was awesome. It was really, really good crawfish.
So be a connoisseur and motivational speaker, Alex Middleton.
That's what I do here. How was your weekend, man?
My weekend was pretty basic, really. I just, did the whole city thing. I went out in Brooklyn, drank around in Brooklyn. That's about it. That's all I did. Ate and drank, walking around Brooklyn. And then it started raining. That was my weekend. But then I went home on Sunday after staying in Brooklyn. And then I just laid on the couch on Sunday watching football, like the good old days. Which was nice. Watched the Houston Gamblers beat another team.
The Michigan Panthers. Fuck the Michigan Panthers, dude. They suck.
And then some other teams played, and then I was looking forward to the third game, and then it got rained off or some shit.
They rescheduled it. The Maulers and the Bandits. There's some weird names, but I like it.
Like the Maulers. You can't be scared of a little bit of lightning.
We're the Pittsburgh Maulers and the Tampa Bay Bandits. Throw out the record books when those two get together. the New Orleans Breakers and the Philadelphia Stars. I know those are teams.
It's kind of a weak one, though. It's the Philadelphia Stars.
Sorry, a hockey team. And the Panthers is already an NFL team, too.
Like New Jersey Generals as well. It's like pretty weak.
I mean, there's Donald Trump's old team. Are you supporting your MAGA? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just.
That's your team.
I just want to make sure that $3 that he got
New Jersey MAGAs. Yeah.
Hey, Mike, did you set up your PC to watch the game outside? No, I did not.
Well, why not?
That's a reference to the Lyon game. It was a beautiful day here in New Jersey. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to be fucking sitting inside watching this game. So I could go outside and watch it, but then I'd have to go out and watch it on my phone. There was a little part of me that was thinking about moving this TV outside and connect it to the Wi-Fi. But I didn't want to carry it all the way downstairs and then find out that the Wi-Fi signal's too weak and then have to bring it all the way back up again because I'm very lazy. But that's a story. That's a story. And plus, look at, for those watching, these arms aren't built to lift things.
Well, that's why you start lifting things, and then you can lift other things. Just think about that.
Like a not an urban, like a what's the American word for where it's like a town, a nice town where picket fences. What's that called? That kind of area. Suburban.
The American dream.
Or the American dream. Suburban gym. Just me standing in the window lifting my TV, getting the reps in. And then West Ham score and I drop the TV. You know what I mean? Yeah, they are built to carry beer, Bobby McFunderwaffles. That's what I do. Getting my reps in. Cheers. So where should we start? Should we go chronologically? That's a nice big word for me.
Yeah.
Or should we talk about West Ham Burnley first?
Let's talk about Europa first because we got to talk Premier League because we got some stuff coming up.
We have got some stuff coming up. Going into the game, I know we kind of previewed it last week, but in the hour or so before the game, what emotions was Alex Middleton going through? Was there nerves, trepidation, excitement?
Before Lyon?
Before the game, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping we won. That was really what it was. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect.
Bloody wordsmith, Alex.
If I'm being honest, I was hoping we would win that game.
It's a good emotion to have.
Yeah.
How worried was you when, obviously, because it looks like Kurt Zuma is going to be out for a while. Issa Diop stepping in.
Yeah.
Gotta admit, I was a little concerned going into that. But I tell you what, the boys stepped up.
They did.
And
that was the best game they've played in a very, very, very long time. Maybe the best.
Very long time.
All year.
Away from home, even though I think in a weird way the scoreline flattered Lyon because we dominated that game.
Yeah, we skull fucked them like that. It was a skull fucking is what it was, and it was just funny. They kept adding on. I mean, yeah, 2-0. I was like, all right, we'll probably sit back. Like, why are we even? Oh, we're gonna get a third. Okay, cool. I'm fine with that. It just putting it away and what was his face? Did the wink like that? Just I think, yeah, that was just like don't piss him off. Now they're gonna just rub your face in it, and they did. But it was cool seeing how excited all the guys were when they did advance.
Did you see the official West Ham Twitter page trolled him?
No. What did they say?
No, they just put up a video of him winking, and it's like freeze frame, and it's like a Declan Rice popping up from the bottom of the screen, pointing at his face. And that was it. That was the tweet. It was fantastic. Hopefully he would have been saving that. I fucking hope they win.
Yeah, they better fucking win, or no one will ever get to see this.
But yeah, it was pretty impressive because it was in either side of the half. It was 3 goals in something like 10 minutes, 11 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, because Dawson had the
fucking Thunderboss
corner.
header.
He headered it in from the corner. Then Rice had the rebound that he put in, and then it was like we almost got one right there before the half again. But then was it Bowen scored the third one?
Yeah,
and that just kind of
breakaway.
That was at like the 50th minute or so, and we just kind of coasted from there on out.
Once again, Declan Rice, solid. He's been getting so much better at collecting the ball and then just going forward. Like, it seems like people are scared to touch him. He just
it makes sense. He was the best player on the field that day. There was no stopping him. That guy was doing whatever the fuck he wanted the entire game, and it was cool to see.
What are your thoughts on? Because obviously, pretty much every game when Declan Rice has a good game, all the commentators all start going, "Oh, is he gonna go to another club?" Yada 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 yada. See, obviously, no one knows anything except for Declan Rice, but I gotta think, with age on his side, he's gotta be super thrilled with even just getting to the semi-final of Europe. That's got to show that West Ham's going in the right direction. I can't see him leaving in the summer. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I feel like it depends all on what we get in the offseason. Like I think he's definitely I feel like we get another year with him doing what we're doing, especially if we can qualify for Champions League. I think that'll 100% secure Rice for another season. But like the way that West Ham seems so hesitant, like 150 million is what like you're gonna start the bidding there, and then like he doesn't seem like he's unhappy. He's about to get like he's already the captain of the team at this point. I don't know. I mean, it's possible somebody could swoop in and try and take him, but I don't know. I mean, would it be Manchester City at this point? I have no idea, but I think that we get an offseason of, are we going to help build a team around him, or are we just going to play it again where we don't have any depth and we just run it that way? And if we have to come up short in some cup games and stuff like that, I think that's going to start to wear on you as somebody that's like, well, I'm good enough to be on one of these teams. Although Harry Kane's been on one of those teams and he just hasn't won shit ever. So
I think the only thing that's good for us, I think right now, because he's not going to go to Tottenham. I believe he loves West Ham too much to go to Tottenham. And he's not going to go to Man United because they're terrible. Chelsea haven't got any money anymore. So realistically, it's going to go Liverpool or Man City. And they've got, I mean, don't get me wrong, he walks into their team, but they are both very good teams. So I don't see why they would spend them that much money on a player 10 that they don't necessarily need.
Unless they're just doing an arms race, but that's already what they do. Like, I don't know. I think that's kind of though what they did with what's his face with Grealish, right at the end of the offseason. They're just like, well, we're also just gonna sprinkle in some money here. But fuck that dude.
But yeah, I think you're right. And it depends what we do in the summer as well. Because I think if we start fucking around and wait until the last week to sign anyone, I think that could piss him off.
We've gotten very lucky with injury happenings this year, like the lack of injuries we've had. We've had them, but we've been able to manage, and it's just the lack of depth that we have compared to the lack of depth that like whoever's coming off a City's bench is they would start on about every other Premier League team. You know, like we don't have that ability right now. We need to add guys like that, or we need to add guys that are quality players that you can run in an FA Cup game until you get to like the later rounds where we have to go back to back to back. But until we can get that kind of depth, I don't know. Like there's 5 or 6 clubs that can do that, and until you're one of those, like you're not always going to get those Premier League players, or those Premier players in it.
Who would have thunk though? Speaking of injuries, I mean, touch wood. I don't want to jinx anything, but other than like the odd game, who would have thunk Antonio would still be standing 33 games into the season?
We were kind of just counting down the days. You know, we were like, well, it's coming one of these days, and we've been very, very lucky so far, especially with the amount of like added time he's played. Like, I can't remember. They were talking about how many extra games West Ham's played compared to the previous seasons, and it's a massive difference. Just as far as we've gone Europa League, we didn't have like super long cup runs, but we had decent like all right cup runs, you know, nothing to like be disappointed. We made final 16 and final 8. Yeah, so like I'm not gonna complain about that. Those are pretty like this has been a really solid season for West Ham. I hope and I think we can beat Eintracht Frankfurt or whoever the fuck they are. But like even if like in the semifinals, like beating Lyon, beating Sevilla, it shows a lot like of how far this team's coming. They were saying that a little bit after the Lyon game, just where like West Ham was staving off relegation 2 seasons ago, and now they're in the semifinals of a major tournament, and like Moyes has really done it. He's turned them all around, and it's gonna be interesting to see if like that is that what Rice buys into. Does Rice buy into Moyes in the organization like that, or is he? I get it, like because if you want to chase the money, yeah, there's gonna be the money for Rice, but is the team gonna let him go, or like we've got under contract for 2 more years, 3 more years,
2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah, it's a couple more years. So does he want to figure that out, then go somewhere if he can't do anything with West Ham? If West Ham hasn't taken the next step up, or I don't know, does West Ham become a Leicester type team that can like hang with like that's really what we're doing. We've been better than Leicester. I guess Leicester finished above us last year, but we've been as good or better than Leicester the last 2 years. And Leicester was that team that kind of elevated themselves to, hey, let's compete in this league. And every year we're going for the Europa or Champions League. And if West Ham can be a team that's in that conversation, I think that's a team that like a big name player like Rice would want to stay with. Wouldn't you think that? Like, as long as you're competing for European football, people are going to come there. And then there's going to be the guys that are like, I should always be playing in European football. So like, they're not going to go to take a chance on West Ham. But I don't know. Like Rice could be maybe he's learned a lot from Noble. Maybe that's what he wants to be.
The limited amount of players that we've brought in this year, the fact that how small our squad is, the fact that we are still in contention for the top 6 and we're in the semi-finals of Europa League, I think it's an amazingly successful year. And I think, yes, it's going to keep positives. No, yeah, I can't see him going anywhere. But yeah, we're not go super intense because that will come up next week. But Bobby McBunderwaffles was at Pluckers to catch the end in Barcelona and get embarrassed by Frankfurt. So yeah, if we've got Frankfurt up next in the semi-finals, I mean, yeah, at this point of the tournament, it's like there's no games in easy.
They're
games,
good.
So I'm not going to dismiss Frankfurt.
I don't know the name Eintracht Frankfurt until I didn't know about them until like really recently. So
they're in a similar position to Lyon in that they're shit in the bed in the league. They're like 9th or 10th in the German league, so they're doing very well in the Europa League. That's it. But they did beat Barcelona. However,
they beat the shit out of Barcelona. Yeah,
they did beat the shit out of Barcelona. However, you got to think we're riding the wave in Europe. It's nice the fact that our league form is dipping-ish, but it does seem it's just not affecting the European run. It just almost seems
makes it feel like that's obviously what they want more right now. Like you have a chance to win Europa League. Then it doesn't like, like at this point they see like probably not Champions League if we're just going Premier League qualifying. But if we fuck around and win the Europa, it doesn't matter. But I'd also like to be at least in that Europa spot, top 6. And if we can get top 6, that would be better. And I feel like we had so many opportunities the last 2 weeks against Brentford and against Burnley. Like the Burnley game coming up, we'll talk about that here in just a second. But like it was a 1-1 draw. It felt like a loss to me. And I know that there was some positives to take away about how they played at the end, but it felt like a loss to me just after that, where it was like, come on, guys, we came back. I thought we would be riding the wave of Europa, like at home, back, like your homecoming from all of that, and then just kind of laid an egg, in my opinion, at least. And I don't know, but like, yeah, again, they do give all that they have for Europa League. Although I feel like, is Diop out? Are we going to lose Diop now? Because I know that Zoom is out. Like and then we had Cresswell kind of seeming beat up. I'm concerned about our back because I feel like injuries are kind of adding up on us right now, and with everything going on, like everything, like we have high stakes last month and a week of the season, Yeah,
they'll speak of David Moyes was at the training ground today watching the under-16s And everyone was just, oh, is he looking for a centre back? Because we need one.
Probably.
But I'm sure we can mix it up. Craig Dawson can make himself as big as two people, headbutt a few people.
He's got to be able to. I mean, Craig Dawson, for him just being a fill-in guy, it felt like last year to turn it into just being an absolute stud when we needed him. Like, he's continued that this year. It wasn't a fluke. I think that it was kind of like, yeah, we'll hang on to him. Like, he's some depth, and he ended up being one of the major players and the reason that we finished as high as we did last season. And I mean, just in the Europa League alone, like, yeah, he's hit or miss in the Premier League, I feel like, but I feel like
he's made a couple of mistakes, but ultimately, I think he's done extremely well.
But Europa League, he's been a beast when he's had to step up, and it's been pretty noticeable to me. But yeah, I hope that he can pick it up, but we're going to be in some trouble if we can't figure it out in the back. But hopefully we get that figured out.
Did you watch Man United versus Liverpool today?
I did not.
Like, the fact that Manchester United paid £80 million for Harry Maguire and we paid $2 million for Craig Dawson, I think we got the much better deal there.
Oh, absolutely. That is kind of the, like, West Ham's cheap, but like we got Bowen for next to nothing. I feel like Souček was a very, very reasonable price. And like, yeah, like you have to have these guys develop and pan out, but they all have, and it's very rare that like teams like West Ham hit on all of that. It's kind of that Moneyball scheme that they're trying to run, where
I think that's
Man United can just buy everybody. Like, they don't have to. Like, give us him.
If you look back at the players we've actually spent a lot of money on, Felipe Anderson wasn't very good. Sebastian Aller, not very good. Even I like the guy. I like he's got the passion, but I think we spent, I can't remember exactly, but it was double digits. It was like 20-30 million on Vlasic. He's trying, but he hasn't hit his price tag yet. So it just, all the standout players are the ones that are homegrown or the ones we spent a couple of million here, a couple million there. So, hey, we could do that. Look at that. If we sell Declan Rice for 150 million, we could get like 60 players for that.
But you have to hit on that. Like that's the hard part of it, or else everybody would do it. I mean, I don't know. If we can limp these injuries, I'm feeling good against Frankfurt, but like you were saying earlier, it's the semifinals, so everybody is good. And what the fuck is with Rangers? Like, I was listening to some of the game on the radio, and all they cared about was like, could you believe if we could get a Rangers West Ham semifinal or Rangers West Ham final, how would that be? Like, it was just like, I don't give a fuck about Rangers, dude.
I think it's just going to be two British teams in the final.
Oh,
I think that's it.
Because Scotland is in Britain.
Yeah. And apparently, even though I didn't know this, I was listening to like a call-in radio show, and apparently Rangers and West Ham fans have a thing. They get on very well, and so I think it's going to be like a big party if that happens. I don't know. I hadn't heard that rumor, but whatever. I'll take the final. I don't give a shit who we're playing.
Yeah, who are they playing?
They are playing RB Leipzig.
Yeah, then I would rather face Rangers.
I'd rather face Rangers. Much better. All right. So coming up next, we're gonna look ahead. Or no, we'll look back against the Burnley game, and then we'll look forward to the Chelsea game coming up this weekend. But now it's time for my favorite game, your favorite game, everyone's favorite game in the whole wide world. It's How Many Things Can You Name? How many things can you name? So we've got a special How Many Things Can You Name this week. It's special because I came up with it 30 seconds before we went live.
All right.
So this week, as everyone should know, today is National North Dakota Day. Everyone should have that circled in their calendars.
Oh, I didn't. I forgot, I guess. Damn.
You didn't get me a card or anything?
I didn't. I'll send you a belated one.
So, in celebration of National North Dakota Day, This week's How Many Things Can You Name, Alex? I'm going to give you 30 seconds, and I'm going to ask you for as many US states that people give less of a shit about than North Dakota. It's going to be a tough one.
Wait.
Give me the more boring than North Dakota, US states. And your time starts now.
Vermont. That sucks, right?
I mean,
yeah, we'll say we don't care
nice
about
lake.
Vermont. Montana. Who gives a fuck about that? South Dakota. Like, you're not even the northernmost Dakota.
Yeah.
Get over yourself. Iowa.
Oh, Iowa gave a Slipknot, at least.
Nebraska. Like, what are you doing? You got corn. We get it. I don't know. I mean, I think those are Wyoming.
Wyoming's a good answer.
Utah. But Utah's got cool stuff, I feel like. They got the Jazz.
And there's your time. The one you missed, obviously, was Alaska. Like, no one gives a shit about Alaska.
But it's like tight because it's like
just having a little thing
all the way up there. Yeah, it's like Hawaii.
Idaho. I mean, yeah.
No, Idaho.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was fun.
Yeah.
Apologies to anyone in those states, but
I don't
move
know
somewhere
what
better.
The curriculum was for how to be right about that, but
I don't think there's any wrong answer. As long as you didn't say Texas or New Jersey, they could have been all right answers, to be fair.
I wouldn't.
All right, West Ham Burnley. That was an interesting game. Because we was playing very, very well, I thought. And then the Burnley player breaks his ankle or breaks his leg. I don't know. I haven't actually read what actually happened to him in the end. And the game was stopped for about 12 minutes. And then it just seemed like the game restarted.
Yeah.
And then, but West Ham weren't aware. And it's like, I don't know what the fuck happened there. And then they went 1-0.
You saw it was Vlasic that was like there, and like he was like just inconsolable in the beginning. And I get it. Like it was just, you can't, it's nobody's fault. You can't really do anything about it, but yeah, it did suck all the air out of that. And then it felt like who's their keeper was absolutely standing on his head that entire second half. Like, we should have won that game. That guy had some of the best saves I've seen this season, and maybe ever since I really started watching soccer. Like, that guy, the one where he like dove down, scooped it up off of the free kick that we had.
That
should have been a goal. Should have been, or that was off the corner. That should have been a goal. But there's just times where you're like, "Yep, all right." Fucking props.
Even though I think there was still like 10 minutes to go, in my head, once he saved that, I was like, this is gonna be a draw. We're not scoring. Like, we're not gonna score after that.
Nick Pope.
But yeah, I was saying to someone, I was like, even though I think if you look at across the whole game, I think obviously I'd wanted to win, but I think the draw was probably the fair result for both teams from what they put in. However, at the same time, it was very strange that, yeah, if it wasn't for Nick Pope, we should have won that game 3-4-1.
3-1. 3-1, yeah.
What do you think? It was a good save. What did you think of that Antonio chance at the end? Like,
he hesitated, man. He waited, and then he went the wrong way. Like, you should have shot it to the outside. The keeper was already making his move in. You could have like, I don't know. He's a professional footballer, and I'm not. But
he waited too long.
It was just like, I was just like, what do you? It was like he took 2 or 3 steps too many. I was like, what are you doing? Shoot it! Like, he had the defender closing in. He had an opportunity to kick it to the outside of the net. Yeah, you could have missed it, but I don't know. West Ham also got lucky because that dumbass from Burnley with the weird fucking freak or the weird fucking penalty kick he had, which I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, in hockey, you're allowed to kind of fucking take out the guy. Like, Fabes was going for the ball, man. Fabes was going for the ball. Yeah, he got the guy, but the ball wasn't. I don't know. I thought that was a bullshit penalty call. Like I think keepers should get like a little bit extra before you give the PK on that. But the idiot just like an idiot. I don't know. Yeah, ball doesn't lie, man. It was a bullshit penalty. I I don't know what he was thinking, but we got gifted on that one because we should have been down 2-1, and then watch that. We would have scored. It still been 2-2, but it was just we're a full 3 points ahead of Wolves at this point. It's us.
But they have got
Wolves.
a game in hand.
Yeah, but I mean, like right now they would come even with us. Or let me look at the goal differential right now. We have
depending on how much they win by. If they win, they'll still be behind us on goal difference.
Yeah, we have 4 goals on them right now. So if we could, man, if only that Lyon goal differential helped us a little bit, that would have been sick. But like be nice. It's really Wolves, us, and United, right? Yeah, and United they lost, right?
They lost 4-0 today to Liverpool.
So
their goal difference sucks. Like, how crazy is that? The mighty Manchester United, after 33
they're
games,
+4, yeah,
they're only +4 goal difference, and we're +9. That's insane.
As many wins as West Ham. Yeah, if we don't sub Mark fucking Noble in, we could be ahead of them on the table right now.
Yeah, that was still.
If we don't sub fucking Mark Noble in, man.
But yeah, realistically, it's definitely.
That's West Ham for you. You look
Leicester
back at
got 3 games. Leicester got 3 games in hand against us, so they could, in theory, go to 49. But the way they're playing, I don't see them winning all of those. But
they do have 3 games. Yeah, shit. I mean, I don't see that happening either. I
mean, the big game coming up this weekend, you got Arsenal versus Man United on Saturday, which that's kind of a, I guess, I mean, Arsenal, they've got 2 games. So, I mean, I would take an Arsenal win. Or a draw, I guess.
Yeah, do we want the draw? Or do we root for yeah, because if it's a draw, it's 55, then we get a win. Oh, we got Chelsea.
But Arsenal have got 2 games in hand over us. So, I guess a draw would be ideal, but I wouldn't be upset if Arsenal beat Man United. That'd be nice.
As long as we get 6, yeah.
And then Brentford versus Tottenham. Hopefully Brentford play as well against them as they did against us. Beat them. And then, I don't know.
Tottenham lost last week.
We actually have a week between games for a rare experience. So maybe we'll be ready for Chelsea. Because Chelsea are playing tomorrow against Arsenal. So we've got an extra few rest days. So it's not against, we could do it. Although, I don't know, it just always seems that the past 5 weeks now, West Ham are always playing on Sunday at
8 a.m.
9 a.m.
9 a.m. your time, yeah.
The fuck is that?
It's just the Europa schedule.
Yeah, but put us on the later games on Sunday.
Jesus. I wish they would. It blows.
Think about your American-based fans. Premier League.
Right? Shouldn't we come first?
Surely they get a lot of money from us.
You'd think.
Us American taxpayers, even though I don't think the tax goes to us peacock
They're not
payers.
allowed to tax for that representation.
Yeah. Do you sometimes do it whenever they talk about football players getting paid a lot because of the TV revenue? And you're like, well, I pay $6 a month for Peacock. You're welcome, rich person.
I get free with my cable, but
still,
I don't think that usually. But I'm going to start thinking that now.
That every time, next time you spend £6, Harry Kane, thank me.
You can thank me. I pay your salary, buddy.
Yeah.
Does
that make us shareholders in the Premier League?
Basically.
That we're part owners of the Premier League.
Pretty much. It's for the fans, by the fans.
I don't want any thanks. I don't want any thanks for what I do, but
big deal, yeah.
Just putting that out there. And not many other podcasts will do that. But we're humble guys. I'm gonna say. Chelsea West Ham. What do you think? This is always a tough one. This part of the season, I always give up predicting West Ham's almost because it's like, we could win 3-0, we could lose 4 fucking 0. I don't know.
Who knows? It'll probably be Chelsea though. I'm not feeling great about it.
Although they've been a little bit.
I don't know what's going on with us in the Premier
weird.
League. Oh, they just beat somebody though, right?
They beat... Who did they beat? They beat Southampton 6-0. And they beat Crystal Palace in the FA Cup. But then they lost 4-1 to Brentford. So, I mean, if you do the math... So we lost, 2-0 to Brentford?
Right.
And Chelsea lost 4-1 to Brentford. So that means we lost by 2 goals. They lost by 3 goals. So that means we are 1 goal. So we should win by 1 goal.
We should win by 1 goal. And we actually are also coming off that win. So I'm not feeling great about us against Chelsea. If they're me pissed.
But I mean, Jay-Z did once say, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So,
Great point.
Just spitting in facts.
Great point.
And Jay-Z's never lied in his life.
He doesn't, ever. He's not a lying guy.
So there you go. Jay-Z predicts 1-0 West Ham.
All right, I'll go 1-0 West Ham then.
Put money on it.
Ride with the boys.
Rockefeller, baby. That's how we did roll. All right. That was fun. So the Gravy Gang listeners, they got a lot of our content to consume. Tell them, obviously, if they've missed it, because obviously, normally Past the Gravy is every Wednesday, but my gosh, they got a bonus episode in case they missed it. What are the content that they got to listen to already, and then what I got to look forward to tomorrow?
Well, yeah, we had a Monday episode. It was the taped episode that we did on Saturday at our darling like a Marlin 2 Electric Boogaloo beer release party up at Southern Star Brewing Company. So you can hear that. Our producer Robert talks about killing a rabbit, somebody's pet rabbit. That's an interesting little story he tells us.
So where's the quiet ones?
Yeah, we learned a lot about Robert this weekend. And then we came up with the idea of guilt fees, just a flat fee you pay when you do something that you're like, you know what? It's like at church, you can do that, but you're like, oh yeah, I feel bad. I'm gonna repent for my sins. And it's like, no, like at the bar, I
killed a rabbit. But I donate $100, so I'm good.
Yeah, like we'll get a little bit more into it, but it's like, here's $50. Now I'm absolved of this. And then you're just like, I don't have to ever feel bad about that again. I gave you $50 for it. So we get into that. And then somebody asked us what the coolest animal would be smoking a cigarette. And so we debated that as well. But a fun episode that you can listen to right now. And then tomorrow we're going to have an episode. It's 420, bro. We'll be talking about that. And then I don't know if you know this, Mike, but they got rid of mask mandates on planes and some transportation. And turns out that people on Twitter are not happy about it. And we're going to read some tweets. And we're going to be wearing masks when we do this. And then we're going to answer some questions that people give us. And I have some ideas that I'm going to pitch to the fellas. What about Waffle Box? I know Waffle Box has a new one coming out. What can we look forward to there, Mikey?
Well, Waffle Box, tomorrow we're talking about the Swiss banker that claimed his business meetings that took place in strip clubs.
There are
Interesting.
meetings there.
Right? He got in trouble for that, so we're going to be on his side, trying to plead his case.
Good.
Coming up on that. And then we've got this, obviously, the week's dumbest world record, the feel-good story, and we're talking about the new Harry Potter bullshit bollocks, Fantastic Beasts. And we've also got a 420 themed middle of the show quiz.
Dude, 420.
So check that out. Go to @WaffleboxPod on Twitter and Instagram, and of course @PassTheGravyPod on the same platforms. Follow them both. Mm-hmm. They're both free. We don't charge.
Do it.
Because we're men of the people. As we said
it.
Previously. But yes, so check those out. And then coming up next week, obviously, we're going to be talking about West Ham's mighty victory over Chelsea. It's coming up on Sunday. And then we'll be previewing our semi-final game against Frankfurt.
We're going to try and learn how to say it, too.
We're going to learn how to say it as well.
We got a whole week to figure that out.
But yeah, if you are watching us, don't forget to hit the smash that subscribe button and give us a like.
Smash it, gang!
Turn that red button gray, baby. And if you are listening to us on Spotify, podcast, and all that bullshit, and you do want to see our glorious faces, you can go to YouTube. So go to cbbpod.com for all the links. But until next week, of course, don't forget.
Seahorses forever.
And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Hey, let's go to Peyton. He's going to break down that touchdown.
Can't hear shit.
Never mind.